Hi, classmates. So this is the Module 5 discussion. And sorry, don't mind me. I'm very stuffed nose. And also, this is my son. Okay, baby, you gonna sit with me? Also, we just getting over the flu. So, anyways, so the 3 topics today was discussing one thing from the textbook that's covering social factors on the selection of a life partner. When learning why people marry, which reason outlined in the textbook sparked their curiosity and why. And after reading the marked PDF from your viewpoint, which theory seems to be more valid. So, starting off with the first one, discuss one thing from the textbook covering the social factors of the selection of a life partner thing or whatever. I know in the directions it said to mention like the demographics and stuff of it. So I did make sure I was like looking for those keywords to know that I was in the right spot. So, and by the way, looking on my notes, it's not AI, guys. It's not. Because I know that's like a big thing. Anyways, I said that demographic factors actually shape who we end up with, even when we think we're just choosing based on love. So, obviously you see, yourself end up with more of the people that look more like you. That's kind of like a demographic thing. And also, people, also from where you're from, you might have more in common. You understand each other more of the same values and everything. Another thing was the textbook talks about things like age, race, ethnicity, religion, education, and also homogamy, homogamy, whatever that word is, which was like people tend to marry others who are similar to them, which was what I just mentioned. People mainly choose to marry people that have the same race, ethnicity, religion, from the same area. It's all demographic. So, that was one thing that the textbook covered. The second thing is when learning why people marry, which reason outlined in the textbook sparked curiosity and why. What stood out to me is that patterns aren't random. Patterns are learned. They show how our social environment shape our choices, even when we feel like they're purely personal decisions. People like to say, you marry based on it's just random. You just find love random. No, it's patterns. You're gonna meet somebody that you go to the same place every day. You're gonna meet somebody doing the same things that you do every day. You're gonna meet somebody that's gonna be in the same vicinity that you are. It's patterns. It's patterns that you have. Also, when learning about why people marry, another reason that stuck out to me, sparked my curiosity, was the shift from economic necessity to emotional fulfillment. And back in the olden days, they were taught to marry well. It was arranged marriages. It was, if you knew this family and this family, they arranged marriages based on social classes and everything else. But nowadays, it's more of emotions, love, and, who you find interest in. And, it's just different. Like I wrote in my notes, in earlier generations, marriage was often based on stability, social expectations, and survival. Right. Now it's more about intimacy, love, companionship, and personal happiness. I also can say that I will say in some parts, some relationships I've seen nowadays are based on economic necessity. You will see some you will see some women marrying because of money. I will say, because of social status, because of wealth, which nothing's wrong with that. We all have our reasons, but I will say it is still around. So yeah. And the last one, after reading the marked PDF from your viewpoint, which theory seems to be more valid? This question was kind of confusing to me because I really didn't know what you mean by valid. But I did choose the exchange theory. The social exchange theory. Which it suggests that people evaluate relationships based on rewards, cost, and comparison levels. I feel like that is very true. I mean, it is exactly what it says. They evaluate relationships based on rewards, cost, and comparison levels. Like, people will judge your relationship based on what that other person does for you, what y'all have in life, where do y'all live, what y'all drive, your jobs, vacations you take a year, how many kids you have. You know, it's just so much different things. One thing that stood out to me personally was how communication patterns influence relationship stability. And one thing I will say about that is that my fiance is very avoidant, and he's not confrontational. If I am the confrontational person, but if he does not want to talk about something, he will simply tell me, like, I don't really want to talk about that, or he'll be like, let me talk about it later. So that is something that. Can I please get a number 3? That's him on the phone. He's on my MacBook. I'm gonna turn him down. Anyways, yeah. So that was the module this week. I really hope I did not have anybody going in loops and circles and try to figure out what is she talking about. I read it to the best of my ability. I am currently dealing with a toddler with the flu, and I have the and I have the flu as well. You gonna tell him hello? No, he's not. Okay. Anyways, thank you for my video.